Hello, all my hypotheticals. It's PlayerTwo. I'm here with Star of Wisdom, Triposer, and Connor. I just change up the names in the order whenever I feel like it because it's my channel. And we're doing the Heart Gold Soul Silver Teamlocke, in which I believe Connor and I are still losing.
Let's go!
Yeah, so it's my topic today. Thank God. And
so if you were gonna be an iguana or a gat?
Keep in mind, there is only one right answer. All right. So, jeez, god dang. I want to talk today to you, to everyone, about.
I've gathered you here.
Yeah, I've gathered you all here today. I want to talk about celebrity worship, the topic of celebrity worship, and the reason I was thinking about this is because Dream, and just in case you don't know who Dream is. By the way, I'm a huge. I like Dream. I like watching his content. Yeah. I'm subscribed to him. I bought 800 of his shirts.
Wow.
But that's what I want to talk about.
Zach's a dreamer.
I did the wrong move there. Oh well. So the reason I was thinking about this is because Dream, he's got like around 20 million subscribers. He might have that by the time this video comes out. Mm-hmm. And he got that all within the span of like a year, just doing a Minecraft video once or twice a month. And I'm not saying he is without skill or that he doesn't deserve his fame. He does, sure, but he's gotten to the point where he has everything he needs for the rest of his life. Just he's set. In 1 year, he was able to just totally clear out every qualm he might have in the future. And he introduces the thing to you buy a shirt, which is a really uninspired design, by the way, for $25, just so you have the chance of 20 million subscribers plus other viewers to get to be a part of one of his manhunt videos. And even if you are the lucky son of a gun that gets to be a part of his video, people are going to hate you. They are going to hate you, unless, of course, you just annihilate Dream, just like one-shot him, and then you prove that you're better than Dream. Then people still might actually hate you. I'm not sure. But the thing is, we've essentially like formed cults around different people in this world, and a lot of them are just entertainers and artists. And again, I'm not saying artists and entertainers are without skill or undeserving of the money and fame that they have. I'm getting some sort of echo. I don't know who it's from, but again, we'll just hope it's fine.
Everything sounds louder to me right now, which is confusing me. So I don't know. I kind of wanted to turn down my volume, but I checked and this is what it was supposed to be. I'll check one more thing really quick.
Okay. And it's probably fine either way. No one's expecting great quality content from my channel anyway. So my question to you guys is how do you feel about the
no, Zach,
kind of the celebrity worship we have in this country and in fact the world? Is it really a problem? Is there anything we can do about it if it is a problem? Yeah, just kind of topic along that, and I can totally just carry for 20 minutes if people have nothing to say about it. So.
I got something. This is pretty interesting. I would say that the big issue that I think so many people have, especially when it comes to something like YouTube, is this perception that the person they are watching or viewing or interacting with in the way of a viewer is somehow their friend, or you're like, know them, and like if you were to interact with them in person, there would be like this established rapport, when it's like the relationship between viewer and content creator is very one-sided, in the sense that as a content creator, you barely know any of the individual creators. Occasionally, you'll get to know the viewers. Occasionally, you'll get to know an individual, and might have some sort of, you might be, especially like in a Twitch chat or something. If you have someone regularly showing up to every stream, you might kind of have something there. But it's not like a real. It's misleading, if that makes sense. And I think that's part of what creates this, is like, you spend so much time watching people or listening to people that it's like a regular voice in your mind and a regular person that you listen to and you like and you trust. But if you were to ever actually meet them and interact with them, like, they don't know you. They can't return that in any way. And it's unrealistic to expect that of anyone who you're watching, you know? Like, you just have to, as a viewer, you have to maintain this separation. And especially, I think, as a creator, there's a certain responsibility on that end, too, to, like, make it clear that, you know, no, I'm not actually your friend. I want to be friendly to you, and if I met you in person, I would be as friendly as I would be to any other random person, and maybe more so if I, like, recognize the name or something. But, you know, there isn't this expectation of, yes, we have some sort of relationship. Like, that's just not real. So, that's what I have to say to introduce to this concept. Because I agree. I think that, like, the more that you listen to someone and the more that you build up a relationship in your mind with them, the more likely you are to, like, follow along with everything they say without really thinking about it critically. And that it also makes it hard, like, you know, if someone then all of a sudden does or says something that is contrary to what their content produced. Because that's the thing with making content, is you can edit stuff out. You know, like in my videos, I'll occasionally edit out when I have to pause to clear my throat. Like, just stuff like that. And people edit out way more than that. And then all of a sudden they say or do something that's like this total surprise about their personality or their beliefs or something. And then it catches you off guard because you're like, that's not what I was expecting. Anyway, I just think that there is a responsibility on both ends to be careful and just recognize that, like, it's not real in the way that a real friendship is created when you're really interacting with someone and getting to know them. And yeah.
I'm just curious if anyone here watches Ludwig.
I've seen some of his content.
Okay.
How do I do this? Am I stupid?
Drip, you said no.
No.
Okay, never mind. I won't get into it, but
The extent of his content that I have watched is the chess content. Let me put it that way.
Oh,
Sure.
That's where I recognize his name from.
Yeah, big Twitch streamer. And he has, it's kind of just a meme on his channel now, where he made this video called "I Am Not Your Friend." But no, like he talks about this and makes good points, and like
sure. I wonder, I might have seen.
He's kind of the only one.
Maybe I saw like that part clipped, because that actually maybe I did see that. But yeah, that really resonated with me, with just like realizing that.
Because a lot of what you said there was like almost word for word like what he.
Okay.
Would say. I was curious. I mean, not that you can't come to those.
I just caught a Palkia.
Nice.
That's something.
What do I do here? Am I dumb? I feel like I'm stupid. What am I supposed to do? I'm trying to do the final ice thing, and I literally can't line it up so that it works. Oh wait. I see. Okay. Icy. It all makes sense now. How you favored Thor all these years?
You know, I bet I did, because I was watching. Like, part of why I had that whole thing in my mind was I was just watching like some random clip on YouTube of someone talking. It must have been Ludwig. So yeah, I'm almost certain that I probably did see that then. But no, I saw that and definitely agreed with it, where I was like, yeah, that's this huge problem that we have. And we've always had that with celebrities, but to a lesser extent, because with traditional celebrities before social media was this big thing, it was a lot harder to ever be in a situation where you would be interacting with that celebrity. Yep. Whereas now you can just leave a comment or tweet at them, or, you know.
There were no direct lines of
exactly.
Communication.
It's different.
What is this thing? Well, we're gonna see if Thunder Punch hurts it. Does in fact do a decent amount of damage. Alright. Chingling is dead. Yeah, sure, well, maybe. No.
But yeah, I think I would agree with what you were saying about how, like with the dream situation, it feels like he's taking advantage of that perceived relationship. And that's where it really becomes problematic. Where it's like, there's nothing wrong with him making the content that he makes, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying the content that he makes. But the moment where all of a sudden he's like leveraging that perceived friendship between him and viewers to sell stuff, it's like, okay, that's a little questionable. And like if he was just selling shirts, that would be different than selling shirts that also give you a chance of being in a video. You know, then it's like he's selling access to himself.
Yeah,
right.
Which is, and not even necessarily being like, it's kind of a subtle way of doing it too. So,
right. Well, in the case of the dream thing, that was just an example of kind of manipulation of, like, that had to be a conscious manipulation of someone who had something over a large group of people, knowing that they would shill out, like, you know, there's going to be someone out there who buys 100 shirts just for a greater chance to get to play with Dream. When really, I mean, like, everything's virtual anyway, especially in this, like, year of COVID or whatever, where you could literally just be like, I'm just going to randomly select 5 subscribers and I'll play games with them. Like, you could easily do that. Like, what is Dream busy with, aside from... But... What? Like, what? I mean, what, he's like 20 years old and a millionaire? Like, what could he possibly be doing? But, yeah, I want to hear what Connor needs to have to say. I do want to talk about, like, celebrities in general, not just, like, YouTube stars. But, yeah. Go for it, guys. Asa, Connor, whichever.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have something to jump in with right away, maybe you do. I don't know. But,
good, Asa. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just about a note about Dream, like, I don't know, whatever. That's irrelevant. Never mind.
People want to know now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I think the first couple of videos I saw of his, the first couple of manhunts were like, oh, that's cool, and then it just like blows my mind how it's so popular still. Like that's my take on.
I think. Part of it is that he doesn't do it super regularly. Like like if it was weekly, it would have gotten old.
Well, it's almost weekly. It still like shows up, and my like I don't know. It's often enough, but anyway, you know, like he can do whatever he wants, and if it's successful, and that's great. But on the note of like. The celebrity worship or the parasocial relationships, as I've heard them called, like I don't know, it's kind of a strange concept to me because I don't think I've ever like felt that with anything beyond just like never felt
never related to a person in my life.
I've never experienced that, so it's definitely weird and strikes me as unhealthy, for sure. And I don't know what I can say that hasn't already been said by either you, Jupiter, or Zach, or other people on YouTube, because it's kind of a current issue, whatever.
Sure.
On the platform in terms of I think one thing, and this is getting away a little bit from the discussion of parasocial relationships themselves, but I have an interesting take on how to solve this issue, which I can get into now if you would like.
Which I will start talking about right now.
Which I will move into now. But yeah, so I don't know if any of you are familiar with Dr. K on Twitch. Okay. Well, he works as a therapist, or not necessarily a therapist. Connor, I think you might have to correct me on my terminology.
I don't know who he is, so I cannot correct you.
Sure, but yeah, you do stuff with psychology, right?
Barely.
Okay, well, never mind. It's a false statement. All right. Well, anyway, he does. I think he's a psychiatrist.
My microphone.
In real life, and anyway, he's doing this thing on Twitch where he essentially does what are therapy sessions with big streamers, and they don't have to get into anything too like deep if they don't want to. Like there's boundaries that are set, but What it is I think the purpose, I think, is to kind of normalize it, you know, and show people that like that it is okay to like find help, you know, and find somebody to talk to, and I think that's great. But anyway, I know about this Dr. K guy because the episode with Ludwig, who I occasionally watch, got recommended to me, and Ludwig never like talks about serious stuff on his streams. It's usually all he's just there to entertain, and that's what he says. That's what he said in his video where he says, "I am not your friend."
Sure.
He says like, "I want to be a TV show to you, you know, and nothing more. I want you to be able to tune in like when you want to, be entertained and leave, you know." So that's what he doesn't get into like super deep stuff on stream. But on this therapy-esque thing, he did get into more like personal issues and things that he struggled with. And
Darn it.
I feel like...
I gotta restart.
Restart the recording?
I gotta restart my game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because of black screen.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. I think that a big issue with, and this sounds a little bit like oxymoronic or whatever, if that's a word. It seems a bit conflicting, but it seems like I think these parasocial relationships form with people. And Jupiter, you were kind of touching on this because about the editing thing, that you're not totally seeing like the true person. Is that these parasocial relationships form because you're not, it's not a genuine like impression.
Yeah.
And I feel like people need to like understand that these are real people more.
Yeah.
And then this wouldn't happen as much. And that's not to say that, yeah, like every Twitch streamer needs to open up about personal things that they struggle with, and that doesn't need to be the way that they demonstrate that they are real people. But something in that vein of like realizing, oh, like this is a real person with a lot more like going on than what they choose to present on their webcam and on their Twitch stream. You know, it's like, and then once people recognize that, they will see them more as just entertainment.
Sure.
And then my final point is just that the thing that what Dream is kind of doing, and what other people have done to much more severe degrees in terms of wielding that perceived parasocial relationship, or rather perceived relationship, wielding that relationship with their viewers to get them to basically being manipulative in general terms. What was I going to say about that? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. They're obviously doing something that's counterproductive to what I just said, which is that people should view Twitch streamers, YouTubers, etc., celebrities as real people behind the facade of like what they present.
Yeah. And I think a part of what's so difficult about that whole situation is like, that's sort of how you make it on these platforms, is like the most successful creators tend to be the personality based ones. Like you look at how successful vlogging is, and or has been historically, maybe not so much now, but it's like, you know, yes, people watch content to a certain extent for the content, but there's also an extent to which they're like, you know, like if you want to be a successful gaming creator, you want people to watch you no matter what game you're playing. You don't want people to watch you just because you play one game. You want them to watch you because they like your personality. So it's like there's almost this encouragement to like create a semi-personal relationship with viewers, which you can't do. It doesn't actually work that way. But I don't know. I think it's a problem inherent to some of these more modern platforms that we just haven't encountered in the past. That, yeah, there just has to be more awareness of it.
Yeah, no, and I think those, like, honestly, I agree with a lot of what you were bringing up, Asa, and that was kind of more the thing that I wanted to like emphasize and like, you know, because we're all gamers doing gamer things, and like we like, so obviously that's like a little bit more in terms of like our in terms of like what we're thinking about regularly and everything like that. But I mean, you know, celebrity worship it's not new. It's not a new thing by any extent of the imagination. And let's see here. So the like in I think in terms of what Asa was saying, it's really important that we do remember that it's like, you know, we are very much talking about human beings here, and human beings are complicated, and human beings. So when you have a celebrity like that you are like regularly like watching, and you build up this imagery of like, okay, this celebrity is what I see in the movies, they're what I see on TV shows and everything like that, then you lose like you lose the ability to think of that, like, of that person as like a dynamic human with like, you know, with you know, things with faults. Like there are many aspects of like of humanhood that are just like complicated. And I think like the best one and the most pertinent one that comes to mind is just like, you know, the level of surprise that everybody had when Heath Ledger passed away. I think that's really, really, like, that's a really apt point to bring up, is just that, like, you know, it seems like everybody builds up this image of celebrity as perfection, and then you see so many celebrities that are so prone to self-sabotage, and I can't help but think that those two things are in some way related. Just the way that, like, that celebrity, like, constantly pushes you to be perfect, and to be perfect in every way, because everybody expects this image of perfection. And that really, really leads to, like, a lot of people having, like, you know, having difficulties being able to live up to that mental image in their minds, and then you see, you know, you see these things happen.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, and if we continue to, like, you know, put celebrities on this pedestal and expect them to, like, you know, not be dynamic humans that are capable of, like, having negative emotions or being complicated, like, then we're going to continue to see this, and we're going to continue to see people, like, you know, having public meltdowns, and everything that happened with Britney Spears in 2007 is another really good issue, to bring up. I mean, it's important that we, like, acknowledge that you know, these kinds of things are complicated, and like, the notion of, like, celebrity kind of makes it so that it's like, okay, celebrities become perfect people when they enter the public eye, but that's absolutely not true. There is entitled to be imperfect people as anyone else.
Yeah.
Zach, you had a long deal that you wanted to go on, and we have eaten up 25 minutes of this.
Yeah. No, I just said I could. So I agree with the points made. Well, except for that celebrity worship has been around for, relatively speaking, no.
Well, yeah, no, like, I'm not speaking about, like, the life of the Earth or anything, but, like, like, in terms of, like, the last, I'd say probably the first real, like, celebrity, like, instance of celebrity worship was probably Marlon Brando, and so we're talking, like, 1940s, 50s since then. So we're talking, like, 70-some years of pop culture, which is, over the lifetime of pop culture, is a really long time.
it's functionally different to how it operates today because of the platforms. But yeah, no, it's totally. I mean, you always hear about like kids looking up to celebrities as their idols, and that's happened for for as long as there have been.
So so there's a slight difference between. Well, I'll just say I think what the problem is yes, we treat them as otherworldly or metahuman, even as Connor was saying, and that has an effect not just on us but also on the celebrities as well. I won't go into that because I think Connor covered that really nicely, but I think the problem is that we pay them too much. And here's what I'm gonna get at. Right? So if you think about it, like who were people like worshipped, or who? Oh my gosh, what people were worshipped like in ancient times or in relatively recent history? It were military leaders, war heroes, almost like mythological people that just had its incredible abilities,
based on their actions, things that they did.
Well, right, and like you had to essentially conquer a nation for people to notice you back in the days. But now, like, and then you go into Shakespearean times where like acting started to become like a real deal, and like you could have some sort of occupation through acting or making music. Or do I want to register? Sure, I'll register. Oh no, I didn't. Dang it, that's what he asked. Shoot, now I have yet another person that's gonna call me. Thank you. But now you essentially have all these different types of artists that can just go from being a pauper to having extreme wealth. And I know we're not talking about like Jeff Bezos or any like billionaire close to trillionaire individual that really is the real problem, but I don't mean to say like, oh, these millionaires, they have too much money. They don't have too much money. I think it's fine to be a millionaire, but if you think about like, oh, I made some music and I just made millions of dollars off of it. Excuse me? Or like I starred in I made a cameo in a Marvel movie for $20 million and I was in front of the camera for like 5 minutes. It's like, why are you being paid significantly more than doctors, lawyers, people who actually had to put in significant time and like have significant skills? And acting, it's not like making music, acting, filmmaking. These do require skills. Not anyone can just do them. Just like not anyone can be one of the best Minecraft players and also have like a likable personality. Not everyone can, I don't know. Not everyone can be Taylor Swift or no one else can be Kanye West except Kanye West.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
But I'm not saying these people are undeserving, but essentially what you do is because, like, you go back to Shakespearean times, people made enough money just to be able to feed themselves and work on their next project, right? Like, they were not getting paid very much at all. They might have had some fans, but it's not like people were lining up. It's like, oh man, this is a William Shakespeare play. Oh man, like we have to go to it. No, he didn't become famous until long after he was dead. At least not famous in the realm that we think of him.
Sure.
But now you can just be, oh well, I'm Chris Evans and I'm gonna have a cameo in Falcon and Winter Soldier that will be like 1 minute long, and yeah, I'll just get paid millions of dollars. And what happens is they take these resources and they use it to just make themselves appear better, whether it's physically better or like, I'm going to donate to charity. I'm going to donate millions of dollars to charity. But isn't that our money? Like we went to the box office or we downloaded the songs and we paid money for something, like exorbitant amount of money for something that made you rich, and now you're just using that money to make yourself look at. I don't know. That was kind of where I was leaning toward on the rant. I don't know if I got my point across, but
no, it makes sense to me.
I think I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
It just creates problems. Like it's a cyclical thing where like we make these people into demigods or gods, and then and then we complain how like their effect on our society, or maybe we don't complain, we just accept it, but then we just keep on shelling out money and subscriptions. And it can be anyone from someone who's actually very talented, like Hugh Jackman, right, to some TikTok thought. Like the same mentality is there, and like there's a huge, vast difference of skill and application of said skill, and also like personality there. Like those TikTok thoughts, they just use their body to manipulate lonely men on the internet that are willing to shell out thousands of dollars just to, you know, be able to chat with them or something.
Begone, thought!
Begone, thought! Yeah, and I don't know, it's a problem, and I think we pay them too much. We give them too much money. Yeah, so, I mean, that being said, everybody subscribe and donate to my Patreon.
Yep, exactly.
I don't have a Patreon. Imagine.
Right. I mean, it's this weird... There's like this weird part of like, I don't want to undervalue entertainment, because I think there is a part of, like, there is this part of like worth recognizing, like, the value that actually does have. Like, comparing it to like a doctor or a teacher for the services that they perform for society, there's a difference. But there's always kind of this thing like, well, what do the artists really do for society? But then, like you're pointing out, we keep giving them money, so clearly we like what they're doing. But I agree that it's sort of just like, we've never had, in the history of the planet, there has never been as much entertainment as there is right now. Just access to entertainment and amount of entertainment being produced. You know, no one person would ever be able to see all the content that gets produced in an hour, and yet we still try to see it all, and we still try to consume it all. And it's just the whole thing, especially with like your point about just the amount of money that goes into it, and how much of it just gets centralized in individuals that then use it to leverage more money. It's just all, there's just so much excess of everything. And it's like, I don't know. I think it's going to be important, especially in the next, you know, couple decades, where we just keep going on this track of like producing more and more and more entertainment and content. It's like, at what point do we as a society decide to step back and like stop watching stuff and start making stuff for ourselves again? And because I think about all the time that I spend doing literally nothing, just like watching videos, and how different that is compared to the lifestyles that and I'm not the, you know, I know I'm not the only person who lives that kind of lifestyle. And it's just this whole recognition of like, wow, we are living in this world where there is so much extra things that are completely unnecessary. And at what point does that whole system just collapse? And yeah, it'll just, it's interesting.
Yeah, and just to add on to, like, you're saying there's so much extra, and there's, like, this is the age of entertainment, right? Like, we've got TVs, computers, YouTube, like, everything that we can put into the realm of entertainment, we try to, right? Yeah. And, but because of that, like, then that means that there are options. Like, we literally have the power. We as consumers could literally just say, hey, you know? And you kind of see this in the realm of, like, canceling people. And I realize canceling has, like, a different effect and a different purpose. But, like, you can see that people can just decide one day, whether it's for a reason, or not. Yeah, to just not support someone. You could ruin their lives, or you could just be like, we're not gonna watch movies with this actor in it, or whatever. And then eventually, because we the consumers actually have the power, eventually the entertainment system would have to then be reshaped to what we want and like what we're willing to pay for and whatever. Like, we can honestly just be like, who needs Disney Plus? I have like an old VHS. I have got like an old VHS that I can watch of Disney movies. Or like, I don't know, I could just go on the internet and watch a bunch of Disney clips like that people upload. Like, this is
time to pirate.
Yeah. And like, I don't mean to, yeah, imply that that's the thing you should be doing, but
that's what I'm saying. You should pirate things.
So, yeah, and it's just like we set ourselves up to. I don't think it's so much that we're raising celebrities up, but we lower ourselves because we're like, oh yeah, okay, the Kanye West T-shirt costs hundreds of dollars, and it's, oh yeah, sure, that's what it's worth. It's like, no, your money is you, and your money are worth way more than that. Your time is worth more than that. Just like Jupiter was saying, like, don't. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Don't spend 10 hours playing video games and watching TV or YouTube. Like, try to create something of yourself, and that's what we're doing right now. We found a loophole. We can play games and create content. Woo! Just everybody make content. You know, eventually, blockbuster movies will stop being a thing. Everybody will just go on YouTube binges, and you know.
Zach, is this another one of your pitches for Connor just to make a YouTube channel?
Connor, please do!
There's no time, Zach. I'm busy.
What is this? Do I want to go on the? No, I don't know where I'm going.
There's a gym. I think that's all super interesting, and I think my big takeaway from it, beyond, like, obviously we started off with the discussion about, like, just relationships between entertainers and viewers, but the whole system is kind of what we've scaled back to, and, you know, looking at the amount of money and time poured into it. And I think it just comes down to literally a societal attitude shift, and whether that will happen, and how quickly it will happen. Because, oh, hi, Suicune. I'll do you later. Actually, I'll do it now. Anyway, the point is, there's, like, yes, as individuals, we can choose, you know, to not watch a certain form of content or support a certain person, for example. But, like, at what point does society shift as a whole against the system of entertainment production? And I guess I kind of would actually argue that we are sort of seeing that with just how much content is produced. It's not as centralized as it used to be. Like, you think of how many individuals do become successful through something like YouTube or social media. And it actually, I think that there is actually maybe more of a distribution in terms of, like, because in the past, you know, you'd have, think about a TV show, like, when there were, like, 3 channels, you know, all of your time and money or whatever was going into essentially 3 sources, which 2 of which may have been owned by the same company or whatever. So in some ways it's being spread out and democratized more, but in another sense, you know, we've talked about the issues with that of how many people just suddenly blow up and become successful. And anyway, I think that it comes down to at what point we are going to, you know, decide where to spend our time and our money and our lives ultimately. Right. I can't hate ghost types with normal types.
All right, y'all. I've got one more guy in this battle, and then my dog is staring at me and growling at me.
I was gonna wrap up because I think Jupiter did a really good summation of points as well as adding more.
Giratina.
So, yeah. I just got a Dunsparce as my level or Route 40.
Yes. The Dunsparce!
Oh no, that's a female. Well, I'm never gonna use you, so your name's Detard.
Time to carry. The Dunsparce carry.
Alright.
Yeah, this episode on my end was a lot of surfing.
Yeah, because you're on Route 40 too, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna finish up this battle and then we're good. I shouldn't have started it. But I imagine my melodic will just clean up. Asa, do you have any? How about you redefend your position of fish versus bird? You know, in the meantime,
I was looking at it pretty one-dimensionally, but I think the dimension I consider is pretty important, which is escape the boat. Essentially, to summarize in 3 words.
Couldn't you escape the boat as a bird?
How many times do I have to tell you I'm on floor -7 of the ship?
Okay. Gotcha. So...
Oh, yeah, fish suck. Because I'd be like...
That's a bold That's a bold
I'd be like
about
I have
face.
to make it all the way back. My chances are so slim. So if the ship starts sinking, I would just like mad dash up to the top deck and be like, "See ya," and turn into a
Here's
bird.
the thing. I think most modern ships, especially, they don't sink that fast. Like, especially if you're on a big ship where you're on the -7th floor. I don't think it's gonna sink
Just the
so
7th floor,
fast
sorry.
without some warning at least.
What type
I
is
don't know.
shaman? Is that fairy
Grass.
grass?
There's no fairy type in this yet, so it's just grass. If it's
Well-
the Skyform Shaman, then it's grass flying.
Goodbye. Please die.
Giratina really is
Oh
a
no!
problem.
Oh no! Please! No! I thought that would kill you. I thought for sure that would kill you. Oh yeah, never mind. We're good. We're fine. Okay. It raised its special attack and then did a magical leaf on my melodic. So
Yep.
I was pretty scared. All right, Suzaki, just kill it. Just come out and karate chop it. I love the fact that I have a level 42 Electivire that just chops things. Feels good. What's your guys' best Pokemon right now? You know, what are your levels?
It's been a slow. My team is not in as good of a position as I want it to be.
Mhm.
My Rotom and my Slacking are both at like level 34, and that's kind of where it caps out. Then I've got my shiny Bibarel at like 32, and that's a Bibarel, so doesn't even really count.
Barely.
That's pretty much my team right now. I have a level 1 Ammonite.
This thing won't die. It just won't die. Like it has. Okay, Thunder Punch it. Jeez, it shouldn't be effective, but hopefully it kills you. Please just. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Guys, I lost my mag cargo and I'm extremely sad.
No! All right, well, viewers, you're gonna have to wait till next week to figure out how Connor is able to cope with this. Maybe he doesn't show up next week. Dark humor? I don't know.
I'm still fighting this Giratina.
How?
I'm just so glad that good Pokemon in terms of levels are actually good.
My Slack Off doesn't have a move that can hit it. That's the problem.
All right.
Don't you have what other Pokemon do you have?
Blaziken, nothing with super effective. Palkia is 4 levels lower, and also it's a dragon type.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got
Wait, what are you fighting right now?
I'm fighting a Giratina.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
yeah,
just yeah, let us. You know what? We're gonna wrap up. You can finish the fight, Connor, but I'll start the outro.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and anybody who's in a fight can finish it, and that's fine. But thank you guys so much for watching. I think we stayed more or less on topic, and that's good. Sorry I'm bad at Pokemon. Sorry Connor's bad at everything.
Yeah.
And you know, just stop buying $25 shirts for the chance to hang out with your YouTube celebrity. Just don't do it. Like, just don't do it. It's not worth it. They're no different. The person you're celebrating is no different than you or I. Yeah, they might be good at Minecraft, but like, so what? Yeah.
Buy our $25 shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a design, and then I will make you pay for the design, and then actually, you know what? I could use the cash. $100 t-shirts.
Just give us $25.
Oh, that reminded me. I had another point, but yeah, if we're done, we're done.
Yeah, no, I
save it for you next week.
Ace is making his shirt that's would you rather be a fish or a bird? And it's just fish on front, bird on back.
Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, you choose to be the other,
crab.
In which case it gets flipped. Yeah.
There's a
crab
on the tag.
Ah, sweet. Thank God.
Easter egg.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.